What is up, y'all? It's Troy. I hope you're doing fantastic. Today, I want to talk about meditation and the mystery behind it, a little bit about my journey with it, and some real insightful tips that will help you to start creating and introducing a meditation practice into your life. And I'll explain to you why and how I found this to be such a powerful force in my life and what it can actually do for you as well. But let's first unpack this a little bit. Like I remember hearing about meditation and people saying when you meditate, it'll help you with your anxiety. And it was just a mystery to me. I'm like, okay, like let me sit down and meditate. And when you just sit down and try to be still and you get in your own position or whatever it is, what I found is you actually realize how crazy you actually are, right? Because you sit there and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I can't like stay quiet in my mind and da da da. And so it almost does the opposite of what you're actually trying to create. But let's first look at why is meditation even important? I've done a lot of inner work through a variety of experiences. I've done sound healing, I do breath work, obviously. I've worked with a lot of different plant medicines, and all these experiences have brought me great insights into my life. But I will tell you right now, the most powerful and most important one is meditation. I truly, truly believe that. It has done wonders for me in my life, and I'll tell you why. Like, I remember someone tell me once that, a lot of therapists, they're good at maybe helping other people, but their own lives often suffer. And why is that? Because even a fool can look at somebody else and tell them what is wrong with them in their life. But only the master can do that for themselves. So meditation is the key for us to be able to look deeper within ourselves. What meditation actually does, it gives us distance to see ourselves, separation from ourselves. The typical human operates from 96% of the unconscious mind, meaning 96% of your thoughts are within the unconscious, and we are being reactive into life. We are reacting to situations in life. And when we are reacting, we're not being proactive with life. We're not proactively creating the things that we desire based on the deeper parts of ourself. When we are creating, we're actually reacting from fears typically, from the past traumas and experiences we had. Again, this is why the inner work is so important. The inner work helps us remove this stuff, helps us to create clarity on situations, right? If you're always running from the past situation that maybe you suffered 10, 15 years ago, and you're still creating realities to like build up a barrier and defenses around that past pain, are you truly creating the life that you desire? You're creating a net of safety. You're building a reality based around fears. So meditation allows us to go deeper into ourselves, to unpack these things, to look at our thoughts and behaviors, and to create the reality that we truly desire. So how do we do it, right? Like, okay, great. So meditation sounds pretty cool. Maybe you'd like to introduce that into some of your practice. But how do you actually do it? First of all, I think that meditation can take place in a variety of forms. Like some of the best meditations I've had have been while I'm cleaning, right? I entered like, you've all probably felt that, those flow states where you're just kind of in flow. I'm cleaning, I got some music going on, and next thing you know, you're just having like these insights into your life. You're like, man, I got to call my parents, or I got to, the way I interact with my friend today wasn't so great, wasn't so loving, whatever it is, right? But meditation allows us to go deeper into those parts. But what's actually taking place here is we're getting a moment of stillness. Everything's quieting down. So to create that reality, I don't think we have to just sit in like lotus style and meditate. It can be in a variety of different forms. It can be while you're hiking, right? But what has worked for me is to just first connect with my breath, right? So as I start to create stillness or silence, I want to go inward, is to feel into my body first through the breath. Number one, we're always feeling the breath. The breath is a connection point to go inward, right? We're typically focused outward, right? We're on the outward realities. However, when we start to go inward, which is where your meditation is going to go, right? We connect to the breath. We feel our breath, and then the breath takes us into our body, the body. So we start to feel the subtleties of the body. Very important. The subtleties of the body. Where do I feel tension? Is my neck tight? As I'm talking to you guys here, live on the camera, is my shoulders kind of coming up? When my shoulders go up, typically the next thing that's going to happen is my neck's going to tighten up, and then probably my throat's going to tighten up. And it's going to be more difficult to talk to you from a centered space, right? A relaxed frame. And so as we integrate and connect to those subtleties within the body, it takes us inward, right? So the breath, the subtleties of the body, and we start to exhale, right? You can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, which is again that parasympathetic frame, right? This parasympathetic nervous system, which is a relaxed and recovering states. Think of it like this, right? To go higher as we raise our vibration, as we elevate our thought patterns, our frequency, we need to work on our releasing muscles, our relaxation muscles. Most of us are focused on control and contraction muscles. So when we think of things, we think of like, oh, I have to do this. I have to squeeze the life out of this thing. I have to go towards this thing, right? We're always going, moving, squeezing. I have to get this done. I have to do this thing. But in fact, the opposite is what is required to elevate our state, to elevate our reality. So we're working on those relaxation muscles, loosening up. That's why those subtleties of the body are so important. As we release and relax the body and feel like where you feel the tension, your stomach starts to tighten up. Maybe your hips are really tight. And just exhale. Just let those things go. Exhale, exhale. I think of it almost like a melting, like I'm a candle, and you know the candle starts to melt. Like I feel the tension just melting off my body. And all that's doing is creating the frame for me to enter deeper into my meditation, right? And in meditation, it's not a goal. Don't think of it as a goal, like I have to achieve something. That's what's creating your challenges in the first place. It's just something to be observed. So what we do is we're not looking to like find our thoughts and move and direct them. We're just observing things. We just let it flow. We see what comes up. You might have like, whatever, and you could just acknowledge it as a thought. Like, oh, there's a thought about my ex-girlfriend. Oh, here's a thought about my work. Oh, here's a thought about money. Here's a thought about this. We don't have to necessarily follow them. We don't need to create attachment to them. So you just start to see it, feel it, right? As these things come up, these energies come up. And then but through observing our thoughts, we can decide and feel which ones we may want to look into deeper. So I like to do a few things. Like when it comes up, something comes up around people, I like to just look like, did I handle this with love? Was I loving in this situation? Right? And notice like the different things that may come up. As an example, you might, like last night I was at this social event where I gave a little chat with some people and stuff. As I experienced that in my meditation, right? Because that's what's going to happen first. The first part is like witnessing, right? As I witness these things come up, I just might feel areas maybe where I feel a little contraction. So I might be like, oh, I felt awkward or goofy in this situation. But then feeling that and looking into that, like, okay, so what's wrong with that? So I felt a little awkward. I felt a little goofy. Okay. The contraction I feel like in thinking that is around me wanting to be perfect. And there's the information. There's the data, right? This is the value of meditation. I go, oh, like, yeah, I want to be perfect a lot. And in front of people, when I feel like I want to be perfect, it actually causes me to contract. And then I can't like actually express myself fully. There's some insights, right? We're looking for these insights about ourselves. We're observing our thoughts, observing our behaviors. And so then I go, okay, like maybe I can let that go. I don't need to be perfect, right? What's the story I'm telling myself about perfectionism? What's the relationship I have with perfectionism? Currently, maybe it would be, that by being perfect, more people will like me. And then I see that and I go, oh man, that's like a fake thing. Like, I don't want to be perfect. Screw that, right? And by me trying to be perfect, they probably can sense that energy, right? And I feel phony and fake. So in fact, let me change my relationship with that. And I breathe it out, let it go. And now I've observed how I like my relationship with perfectionism, how it showed up last night at this little social event, right? And then we expand, we grow, right? So you see the difference between controlling something, like I want people to like me. I want to go there and I want to be better at speaking. I want to be better at this. Contraction, actually, right? You will move further away from the objective. So actually by letting go, by releasing the resistance, we allow ourselves to move deeper into expression. Expression is what feels good for us, whatever way it is, athletically, intellectually, sexually, all of those things. Expressing ourselves is what we want to experience. So as this takes place, another thought may arise, right? And I look at that, like, how did I show up with my kids today, right? When we're at the field, I remember, I treated my son like this. I said a certain thing and man, I wonder how that made him feel. And man, I can see how I'm holding contraction around that. Like I want, maybe I'm projecting perfectionism onto him, right? And so what it's doing, again, going back to what I talked about in the beginning, is it's giving us distance from ourselves to observe how we behave in the world, how we show up in the world, essentially, and it allows us to make adjustments, right? So, like, I hope you see like the power of the meditation, right? It's just taking us deeper into ourselves. Some things that when you go want to go beyond the layers of just observing is to bring in some questions, right? And also mantras, but there's some specific things we want to do with the mantras. So like with the questions, I always ask myself like, what do I need? Right? What do I need right now? And typically something will come up, right? I'm not controlling it. It comes up. Like I might need this. I need to relax. I need a little break, right? What do I want? Oh, I want to create something. I want to express myself. So I'm seeing what's going on deeper in my reality, right? I'm bringing it up to the forefront of my conscious mind. Again, our goal here is trying to, like that 96% of the unconscious behaviors and thoughts, we're trying to bring those up to the surface so we create awareness. And awareness will change your reality. And so meditation takes us into those aspects. And then the last question I'll often ask myself is, who am I? Who am I? And that helps us just understand who we are more, right? And whatever comes up, just feel it. It might change each day. It might start to become similar over time, but we start to learn who we are more. And, a lot of the stuff I share with you guys and gals is like, you know, social, how do we present ourselves to the world? How do we create the reality that we desire? It's going to be difficult to do that if you don't know who you are. So meditation allows us to learn who we are more effectively and easily, right? So, so those are some insights into like what meditation is, some simple ways to observe it, and kind of change like the way meditation is viewed. I think when we think of meditation, we picture some like monk sitting in lotus posture and like calling in whatever, right? But it doesn't have to be like that at all. Like oftentimes I'll lay on the ground and I'll have music going on and I'll foam roll or something like that, stretching out a little bit, and I'm just kind of moving with my breath and just seeing what comes in, seeing what insights come in and what I'm working through and dealing with, and just learning who I am, learning more about myself. Some simple things that can help you guys to get that space, because we have to discharge energy in the beginning, right? In the beginning, we're carrying a lot of angst, maybe. And so that's why we sit down and so much stuff just all of a sudden comes up. The good thing about doing this also is the other time that typically happens where stuff just comes up and we don't really want it is before bed. Because that's the first time you allowed yourself to have a little stillness, a little quiet, a little space from yourself. And so now all those unconscious thoughts come rushing to the forefront of our conscious mind. So by doing meditation throughout the day, it's much easier just to relax and to sleep in the evening. So one of the things you can do to create that space and get into that inner awareness is to discharge the energy first. So quite literally, you might like run in place for like 3 minutes. Boom, boom, jumping jacks, push-ups, da-da-da-da, whatever, fast, fast, fast. And then lay down. Lay down, breathe, start to connect to your breath, go inward. And what you'll see is a lot of those angsty thoughts and energy has been expressed already. It's already gone. And it's much easier to drop into ourselves. Like you can quite literally, like a cool, fun way to do it is put on some music and just dance. Dance your ass off for like a whole song. And one thing what that's doing, right, it's getting us into our body. The body's always present. Remember that, right? So it's getting us into our body, into the here and now. Move, move. You're feeling good. Good energy is moving, right? Think of energy as like it likes to stagnate. Well, it actually doesn't like to stagnate, but it does stagnate. And when we dance, when we breathe, that energy naturally starts to move, right? And so the stuff we're holding on to oftentimes starts to come up. And that's what we're looking for. Like, what am I afraid of? What are my fears? These are questions you can even ask yourself in these situations. So by displacing and discharging some of that energy first, it's much easier to drop into a meditation. So those are just some things that have helped me. I'm still learning the process. I've been doing it for, at this point, years now, and it's honestly really been, I can't even express how much it's changed my life. It's beautiful. I encourage you to do it. It'll help you to learn yourself better. It'll take you deeper into your body. It'll bring you more presence. And remember, when you have presence, your reality changes. You loosen up. You can express yourself. You can relax your way into the world. And that is what I believe manifestation is. It's creating a reality out of the life that we truly desire from the inner parts of ourselves, not based on fears. We're letting that go. We're moving through those energies into higher energies as we raise our vibration, raise our frequency. So I love y'all. Hope that helped. if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with somebody else who might benefit from it. I'll catch y'all soon. Peace.